Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Saturday Smackdown for the week 20th of September 2014, I guess.
Did you really have to think what year it was?
Yeah, for a moment there, I forgot what the year was, but I have remembered. Rejoice. Yes.
Good job.
We did, for the benefit of the people on YouTube, have Boneng versus Blackstar planned for this, and that would have been great, but due to unforeseeable circumstances, the Blackstar was unable to play. So instead, we have Boneng versus Goongoon. I mentioned in the previous part of the stream, but for the benefit of the people on YouTube, Boneng is indeed, one of the best players in the game currently. I would say, definitely like top 1%. He's up there. I believe ranked 11th on the power rating ladder at the moment, and he was 9th earlier. It fluctuates quite a lot, but came first in PK Clan Tournament 4, where he won a split of the $1,950 cash prize that was made available for that event. So obviously, that money had nothing to do with Microsoft. That was funded by the PK Clan, and they are not affiliated with Microsoft. Just want to point that out. But he's up against Goongoon, who is actually a very good player as well. Very strong. And we'll go over the civs here. So, in the south of the map, in the colour red, playing as China, we have, indeed, Boneng. And he's anything interesting going on here. I don't see any villages going down. He's not collecting wood for perhaps an extra village. You sometimes see them.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious. I guess there's a couple things like he can do here, right? He can go for a market. I think he's going to just go for a market, single village market opening. There's like 3 maybe viable things that you can do depending on treasure spawns. One is to make a market and get your first hunting upgrade. One is to make 2 villages and chop an extra 100
wood. He's found 50 wood up in the north of the map there. Could that influence his decision?
Well, that's Goongoon.
Is it?
Oh, no, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no,
50
that is
wood by both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm curious what he's going to do. Looks like he might be keen to build another village out here then.
All right. Well, should we just introduce the other player and we'll come back to this?
But, it looks like he's going with a second village, so
it's 2
nothing
villages.
strange, anyways.
Okay, yeah. So I was curious. I was thinking, China, they got that shipment. What was it? Northern refugees. It gives you 1 extra villager for every village and town centre you have, and if you indeed don't construct, well, if you only construct 1 village, it's like a 2 villager shipment, which is actually quite bad. Well, compared to 3 villagers, I would say, but actually no, he's going to go with the 2 villagers there. Anyway, okay, yeah. In the north of the map, in the colour blue, playing as the Sioux. I don't see too many people playing Sioux, at least on the games that I've casted on my YouTube channel. So this will be quite nice for anyone asking for Sioux. He has indeed started with a trading post there out of the wood that he, of course, began the game with. Is this standard? I must have been not hugely. I mean, you do get a lot of wood as the Sioux because you don't have to build villages or villages.
Yeah, you don't have to build. You don't have to build houses, which is, I mean, kind of gives you dealer's choice what you do with that wood. I think building a trading post is just as good as anything else. He did have to chop a little bit extra.
Yeah.
I think we see a little bit more traditionally a market drop out of that extra wood with Sioux, but. Certainly, there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting a trading post, especially against a civ like China, where you're fairly guaranteed to have a decent amount of time in the colonial age to, have that tick away and get you extra shipments and get towards the fortress age and then use those shipments. Certainly nothing wrong with going with the trading post at this point with Sioux.
I feel as if, obviously, as you say, the trading post is very good for anything in the fortress age. I think you alluded to that. Obviously, shipments. The XP is quite nice, but I feel as if a trading post can make you more aggressive in Age 2 as well. You get, certainly, your first batch of shipments out, one after the other, and indeed every other shipment faster for the rest of the game. And I feel as if China, they do have quite a late age. They do actually, build these 2 villages, which are quite expensive, 200 wood each, right? You only get enough resources, really, for 1. Fortunately, he did find 50 wood, so that certainly helped, and it means his age time will be a bit quicker because of that. But is playing aggressive as the Sioux something you could do, since of course China, does age quite slowly?
He's kind of like, this is going to be a bit strange.
Yeah, he's already up though. Yeah, go ahead.
He used Messenger to age, and then he immediately dropped his corral. He got some really nice treasures as a result. I think we're likely to see a very early Axe Rider shipment and just transition that into pressure.
Yeah.
I'm not so certain that, I mean, it's kind of a gimmicky play that I see quite a few people try and do. And and it can work on especially low hunt maps and not super defendable maps, but I feel like there's just too much defense here for that to be good. So I'm really hoping that he doesn't ship 4 Axe Riders. But yeah, it's 4 Axe Riders. I mean, what can you do? It's going to be very difficult, especially with someone like Boneng's awareness and herding skills. We can see his hunts are fairly safely secured near his garrisonable buildings, and he's got some decent baits layout going here for himself as well. It's going to be difficult, I think, for those 4 Axe Riders to actually accomplish anything.
They are very fast, though. I mean, he's only just hit up to colonial age, and this is where you're going to think about putting down a military building. Those Axe Riders, and they're sped up by the War Chief, of course. That's the bonus he gets. You might be able to force him off his military building.
Can make sentries. I mean, if he really needs to. Does get 1 villager. That's going to be nice. But I mean, I think 700 gold's going to come, and at the end of the day, these 4 Axe Riders and now 4 Bull Riders that are coming out, I don't know that they're really going to be able to do that much. I don't expect that much damage to be done. Certainly, he is going to slow down the number of resources in total that Boneng will have available to him, and so as he progresses to the 3rd age, it's just everything's going to be slowed down a little bit, but I don't think he's going to explicitly be able to like deny
another villager.
Let's get a villager pick up there.
Yeah, it's very hard to raid China. It's just they since you can garrison in the villages, it's just what can you do? They just literally, even if they're herding, their hunts aren't on top of their town. I mean, on this map, it's not so much a benefit, because you do start with a tower here, and whether that village there was there or not, you'd still be able to garrison in the outpost. But indeed, you do have these villages, which you can just put them in, and here the Sioux player, is training lots of cavalry, which is very typical of Sioux, and I suppose quite historically accurate as well. Well, having said that, he picked up 2 villages.
He did pick up 2 villagers, but at the same time, look at where his economy is at himself. His eco is really quite poor. Sioux in general has a kind of a poor economy, but he's only got 25 villagers. He aged up fast, so he didn't get the benefit of any crates or anything like that, at least super early in the game. And now he's just kind of trickling out bow riders into a civ that's already on its way to the 3rd age and has some of the best early age 3 shipments available to it in the game. So he got a little bit for it. I mean, he's certainly slowed down Boneng's age up a little bit. Usually we see China aging up when uninhibited around the 7.5 minute mark, so that's going to be a little slower than normal. But at the end of the day, it really probably wasn't worth it, and as a result, I don't know, I think we're just going to see China ship 2 shipments and maybe A move into Blue's base and kill him, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, China very strong in the Fortress Age. I think it would suit my playstyle, having a big history of playing Spain on vanilla. I quite like that style of play, going up to fast Fortress there. I believe one of the I think you were saying that one of your favourite shipments, or indeed one of the strongest shipments in the game, is from is it Intervention?
Yeah, Intervention is a really like a ridiculously good shipment. It ships the consulate muskets. Of course, you have to have the British consulate, but it is like, I mean, especially for a civ like China that can't make muskets, right? It's even like that much better, just because now that civ that can't make muskets
has muskets out of nowhere. Yeah,
which is gives them a lot of flexibility with that card. Like, there's never a bad time to ship Intervention. Like,
so many strong Fortress Age shipments there, and the concern is that obviously you get up quite quickly, actually having a lot slower than say, obviously you want to be up at about 7:30, but because that wonder, it needs to be built, I suppose, to go up more quickly. It is a bit delayed, and of course the Sioux player was doing a good job of raiding despite the things. Anyway, lots of really strong shipments, and usually get up quite quickly. You combine that with the units that come out of your barracks or was it War Academy, I believe, something like that for China. And those units it's going to be tough for Goongoon. What does he need to think about doing at this point in the game? Is he going to try and mass colonial and face off against some sort of Fortress Age army, or is he thinking about going up to Fortress himself? Following him up.
Well, this is really confusing to me, honestly. What we're seeing back in Goongoon's base, we see him adding in a second corral, second stable, essentially. And his economy, isn't really even good enough to support a single corral. I mean, I don't think we've seen a time yet where he's gotten out a batch of 5 Axe Riders or a batch of 5 Bow Riders. And so he does have the Fire Pit, which I do like. It's going to give him a little bit more strength in the fights when that time comes.
That nice war dance. Very good.
Yeah, but I I don't know. I mean, he's certainly in no position to age at the current time. I mean, he's only got 70 some odd gold.
And clearly, if he's going for 2 corrals, he's committing to some sort of colonial play. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just seems like
he's laying down
like
2 forward war huts, or 1 forward war hut.
Yeah, he's definitely committing himself. I would have to assume committing himself to some sort of colonial-based play at this point. Is stockpiling a lot of food, perhaps looking for like to have the food required for a dog soldier big button. That would be my guess. Maybe with the forward war hunt, he's hoping he can bait China's army into a kind of a forward awkward position and then pop dog soldiers on top of them.
That would be pretty nice.
Kind of what I'm thinking might be his goal. But
is it going to be good enough, though?
Get better. Yeah, I don't think it will be. No.
It's just that this is absolutely like the intervention shipment has been sent, and the amount of units that China just throws at you once it's up to fortress is incredible. It's very strong, and this like what he's doing is using his colonial age units, which are actually on the other side of the map here. They might be able to kill off some of these villages before that village goes up. Actually, might get all 4 of those, so that's a pretty nice pickup. But at this point, obviously China wants his economy. That, China definitely wants villagers, but at this point it doesn't matter too much. At this point in the game, it's not going to affect him too much because most of the military units he's having is coming from shipments. So it's if the Sioux player can hold. I mean, China's lost a lot of villagers, and in terms of villagers, actually the Sioux is ahead. Their market upgrades kind of suck.
Significantly
they do fall behind very quickly, so the villager count isn't the most accurate thing. But if he can hold the pressure, then maybe we see him taking this into the late game. He's definitely killed a lot of villagers.
I mean, he's almost got the... I'm assuming we're going to see 700 gold. Yeah, there's 700 gold. But I don't know if he's going to be able to, like, win this fight. He's going to lose a lot of villas here. He's fighting... I mean, bow riders are good. We all know how good bow riders are, but I don't think bow riders are good enough to beat intervention redcoats and H3 skirmisher type units. Certainly that monk as well is tanking so much damage.
Is he in cover mode? You were explaining how this...
Yeah, of course he is.
That clip of you complaining about cover mode is on my other channel, and it got quite a few... people enjoyed you complaining. It was so funny.
Yeah, it is. It's annoying.
It's so good. Like, that thing has 1,170 hit points, and
then you double it
with cover mode. It's like a Mameluke, 2 Mamelukes worth of stuff in one. Look how much damage it's tanked. It's actually quite low.
And it can train units.
What, whilst it's moving?
Yeah, well, not while it's moving. It's literally like having a barracks that you can like move
portable
around
barracks
and force your opponent to click on.
I always found that really weird, how, like, especially, we're going a bit off topic here, but, in treaty games, like, they just run this, Daimyo Masasuma, or whatever his name, some sort of daimyo unit, and he just, like, literally poops units out of his bum. It's like, where did they come from? Like, I always found that rather amusing.
Goongoon, by the way, has not aged up, is not in the process of aging, did, in fact, just elect to use his resources to remass on bow riders.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be his ultimate demise. I don't know that there's much he's going to do. Even if this fight doesn't go super well for Boneng, he's still finding himself in the next stage. He's finding himself with shipments still available.
Yeah.
He's finding himself fighting, like, an incredibly efficient fight.
Like, these do ×2 damage. They're skirmishers. They're actually just so efficient against bow riders. But,
so, I mean, we can see, like, the bow riders did win here, but it's like, where's the gold follow-up? There's really no gold follow-up, and I think Boneng is going to be fine with this trade.
I think...
picking off a lot of units.
I mean, if perhaps his micro, I'm not going to criticize Boneng's micro. Clearly, he doesn't have to prove himself. He's very good. But I think a lot of those bow riders, there's like 3 or 4 bow riders there. There were definitely more than 3 or 4 bow riders that were like half damaged earlier in the fight when they had large amounts of units. And I think, Goongoon,
Not going to matter.
No, it's, as you can see here, Boneng.
There's no way that Goongoon's ever going to be able to get those units back. There's even a couple cav, it looks like, sneaking around in the back.
Yeah, I thought that Boneng... Well, that's why I went, I thought Boneng had resigned for him. I was like, what? No. That's why I sounded so surprised. But, yeah, Bow Riders winning that fight initially, I guess, because they just have so many hit points. Like, it's hard to focus fire them down. Yeah. Yeah,
they're... Well, and the other thing about it is, I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, when you're fighting with ranged units like that, having the spread of the units firing is maximizing his damage in a way as well, right? Because if he's single clicking them down and, you know, kiting too much with his units and shooting, you know, all of his skirmishers on one unit, he's really providing a lot of overkill. And so by just spreading his volleys out, he's really getting a lot of more benefit from his damage, you might say, as well. So certainly, basically he's in that position where he knows that after his opponent has made that many bow riders again, that there's no possible way he can really be aging. And so as a result of that, he just knows as long as he doesn't die from the immediate follow-up push, he's probably going to win.
Yeah, which there was not very much of a follow-up push for
Goongoon.
Let's head on out of this one.